Hey, what's up, movie lovers? Welcome back to Recap Reactions 22, the place where we take you through the twists, turns, and thrills of the best movies out there. You know the deal, we break down your favorite films, so you can relive them or get the rundown before you watch. Today, we're diving into the innovative and inspiring world of Slingshot, a documentary that follows the groundbreaking inventor Dean Kamen and his journey to bring clean water to the world. Strap in, because this one's an eye-opener with plenty of highs, lows, and world-changing innovations. Let's go. The film kicks off by introducing Dean Kamen, a name that might ring a bell for tech enthusiasts or anyone familiar with the invention of the Segway. But this isn't just about that two-wheeled marvel, no. Slingshot dives into something much bigger. We quickly learn that Kamen is a man driven by a mission, not just to invent cool gadgets, but to solve one of the most pressing issues facing the planet: access to clean water. Right off the bat, the film sets the stage for Kamen's world-changing ambition. You can see the passion in his eyes as he walks through his lab, surrounded by gadgets and technology that look like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But this isn't science fiction. It's real, and it's urgent. The film immediately hits home by reminding us that clean drinking water is a luxury for over 1 billion people around the world. Think about that, a basic human need that so many don't have access to. That's what drives Kamen. The documentary doesn't shy away from painting a bleak picture of the global water crisis. In some areas of the world, waterborne diseases are rampant, with millions dying every year from something as preventable as dirty water. Children suffer the most. The film gives us sobering statistics, but it's not just about the numbers, it's the human stories that hit hardest. We see real families, real communities, living in conditions where getting clean water is a daily struggle, and for many, an impossible one. Kamen's response to this? He believes he has the answer, and that answer is the Slingshot, his brainchild, a machine that can turn any water, yes, any water, into drinkable water. We're talking river water, seawater, even water from the most polluted sources. His invention promises to change the world, but as we quickly learn, the road to making it a reality is filled with challenges. The documentary takes a step back to give us a peek into Dean's early life. It's clear that Kamen was never your average kid. From a young age, he was fascinated by science, tinkering with gadgets and machines in ways that most people couldn't even dream of. It's almost like watching the origin story of a superhero, but instead of flying or super strength, Kamen's superpower is his brain, his vision, and his determination. Before he set out to solve the world's water crisis, Kamen was already a prolific inventor. In fact, by the time we meet him in Slingshot, he's invented over 400 devices, many of which revolutionized industries. The Segway might be his most famous invention in popular culture, but Kamen is also responsible for groundbreaking medical devices, like a portable dialysis machine. You start to realize this guy isn't just smart, he's on a whole different level. His mind works in ways that most of us can't even fathom. But what stands out isn't just his intellect, it's his heart. Throughout the documentary, Kamen constantly talks about wanting to make the world a better place. Sure, making money is great, but for him, it's always been about the bigger picture. And now, that bigger picture is clean water for everyone. Back in his lab, we see the Slingshot in action. It's a sleek machine, unassuming, but powerful. Using vapor compression distillation, the Slingshot can take virtually any source of water, boil it, and then condense the steam into clean, drinkable water, leaving behind all the impurities. The science behind it is amazing, but like any good invention, it's the simplicity that makes it genius. If Kamen can get this machine into the hands of people in developing countries, it could literally save millions of lives. But here's the thing, making the machine work in a lab is one thing. Bringing it to the world? That's a whole different ballgame. The film takes us through the grueling process Kamen faces in trying to scale the Slingshot. He needs partners, big ones. So he turns to the business world, pitching the Slingshot to corporations and governments in hopes of getting the funding and distribution he needs. But as we soon find out, convincing people to invest in something that will mostly benefit the poorest of the poor isn't easy. Just when things start to look bleak, the film takes a turn. Enter Coca-Cola. That's right, the beverage giant that has its own ties to water, for better or worse, steps in as an unlikely partner. Now, you might be thinking, Coca-Cola? Really? But the documentary explains the logic behind the partnership. Coca-Cola has one of the largest and most sophisticated distribution networks in the world. If Kamen's Slingshot is going to reach the villages and towns that need it, they'll need that global infrastructure. We watch as Kamen and Coca-Cola strike a deal, and suddenly, the dream starts to feel achievable. The Slingshot begins rolling out in select areas, bringing clean water to places that have never had it. There's a scene where a village gets its first taste of clean water from the machine, and honestly, it's powerful stuff. You see people's faces light up with joy and relief. It's one of those moments that reminds you why people like Kamen do what they do. But it's not all smooth sailing. The film doesn't shy away from showing the obstacles Kamen faces along the way. For one, scaling production of the Slingshot is incredibly expensive. Even with Coca-Cola on board, Kamen is constantly battling against the financial realities of getting his machine out into the world. There's also resistance from governments and corporations who are more focused on profits than people. It's frustrating to watch because you can see how close Kamen is to achieving his goal, yet so far because of bureaucratic red tape and economic interests. At times, you can feel Kamen's frustration. He knows his invention works, he's seen it save lives. But getting the world to care enough to take action is a whole other story. The film gets real here, showing the toll this mission takes on Kamen, both emotionally and physically. He's not giving up, but you can tell he's been through the ringer. Despite the challenges, the film ends on a hopeful note. By the end of Slingshot, Kamen has managed to get his machines into more communities, and the positive impact is undeniable. People who once spent hours a day fetching water from filthy sources can now get clean, safe drinking water with the push of a button. It's nothing short of revolutionary. Kamen himself reflects on his journey, acknowledging that while the battle isn't over, progress is being made. He's not the kind of guy to pat himself on the back, but you can tell he's proud of what the Slingshot has accomplished so far. And as the credits roll, we're left with a sense of optimism if one man can make this kind of difference. Imagine what we could do if more people followed in his footsteps. And that's it for today's recap, folks. If you're feeling inspired by Dean Kamen's journey, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more recaps on groundbreaking documentaries and thrilling movies. Drop a comment below. What do you think about Kamen's mission? Could the Slingshot really change the world? Let's talk about it. This has been Recap Reactions 22, and we'll see you in the next one.